Hi, I'm John Hart and welcome back to Mr. America Hart. Hey, listen, if there's anything you guys know about me, who have been subscribed to my channel, that is, listen, if there's anything you know about me, it's that I've been around the block. I'm going on 4 decades involved in bodybuilding since I first started working out, and I've tried a lot of routines. I've tried a lot of dietary practices. I've tried a lot of experimentation, let's say, on myself. And that really has helped to gain a little bit of knowledge to be able to share with you all. And through those experiences, some of the things that I've done, they're really worth trying. And then some of them, not so much. Today, I'm covering, as the thumbnail shows you, 8 straight workouts on the arms in one single day. Now, I'll tell you guys something. This to me was, one of the most intense workouts that I've ever done in my life. Now you can tell, right, that I'm looking at my arms right here. You can tell that I've not been blessed originally with the best muscle insertions for arms. These are all acknowledgments. I mean, it's just obvious to me. In bodybuilding, I was quite blessed and fortunate to be able to compete and do well enough and have arm development that was good enough to match my body and to not be deemed a constant weak point. So part of that, though, is that I worked for everything that I had. So competing, training and competing, you have to really take your weak points seriously and do whatever you can to improve them. And early on in my training, I'm going to share with you one of the routines that I did that a lot of you may have seen in the magazines over the years. It pops up every once in a while, and even current day, it'll still show up. And, the idea is to get those arms, those biceps, those triceps to, start to grow and to shock them. And the idea is this, and I'll list all the details in the video description as well as up here next to me, but the idea behind it is that you're going to work out your biceps, your triceps, every hour on the hour. And you're going to do that for 8 straight hours in the course of a day. Now, I'll tell you something. It sounds like fun, and it is initially. And you're going to do quite a bit of damage to those muscles. Now, the real promise to this is that you're going to grow an inch of new muscle and retain a half an inch of new muscle by the time you're done with it all. Retain, get that? Retain a half an inch of new muscle when you're all said and done. This has been the promise every time I've seen articles written on this type of a workout over the decades, is grow 1 inch. Well, they promise an inch, but that's just pump. That's all pump. So it's really retain half an inch. That's what they're looking for in the end, is what are you going to retain? What's really going to be the muscle gain in the end, not just a surface pump. So the way it works is this. You're going to, from the training aspect, pick several exercises for your biceps, your triceps, the ones that fit you the best, and your brachialis as well. And an example would be hour 1 through hour 8. 8 hours, 8 different workouts, and you're going to knock out 3 to 5 sets of a decent number of repetitions, not high repetitions, I mean workout repetitions. If you do 8 to 12s normally, you're going to do 8 to 12s. 8 to 12 repetitions of barbell curls supersetted with your triceps, tricep extensions. Okay, you're going to go back and forth between the two. 4 or 5 times, 3 to 5 times. Okay? Boom. You're done. Rest. Eat. You're supposed to eat light amounts of food. This is when your whey proteins come in really helpful. Easy to digest proteins. Eggs. You're supposed to knock down, by the way, a decent amount of protein throughout this day. I mean, severely high amounts of protein. The problem becomes you have to digest between each of those workouts. So easy to digest whey protein isolate was the recommendation to me, and I've done it with that. as well as light, easy to digest proteins such as eggs, which again for me are very light and easy to have. So I had plenty of them throughout the day. But you go through this, that's one example of one workout. And then perhaps the next hour you come into it, you do hammer curls, dumbbell hammer curls. And then you do tricep press downs. Back and forth you go. You take it to failure and you go 3 to 5 sets, really intense. And then you walk away from it, rest for another hour, and then you get back to it. Obviously you can't work that day. Obviously this is a 8-hour stretch where you need to have total focus. There's enough time for you to do the workout. You're done with it in 10 minutes, about 12 minutes. You're back to the eating table and you get yourself about 40 minutes remaining until you have to do it again. You see? So 8 workouts on the hour, and there you go. A third workout, workout number 3, might end up being reverse curls supersetted with overhead rope extensions for the triceps. Back and forth you go. So these are just examples of using several exercises that fit your body well. I just happened to mention exercises that fit me very well. You can choose your own. But what happened? I'm going to get to the results in a moment, but what happened first, that I've already mentioned somewhat, is the eating. You have to eat easy to digest foods throughout that whole process. Easy to digest proteins and easy to digest carbohydrates. You have no time for fats in that process, by the way. You won't digest it fast enough to be able to go ahead and work out again. You do have a constant pump going for the first 5 or 6 hours of it. And then after that, you pretty much, everything is just wanting to stop. So first 5 or 6 hours, easy to digest proteins. Eggs, whey protein isolate, white rice, baked potato, right? Easy to digest proteins. Not too much calorically. You don't want to stuff yourself. Just pretty much snack-sized portions of all of those. Because again, you're training, then you're at the food table eating, and then you need to take about 40 minutes left before you got to go do it again with the weight training again. So you need to be ready to train again, and the food has got to be working its way through you at that point. So you get the idea, the overall workout, right? So here's how it went down. For the first 5 or 6 workouts, or 5 or 6 hours, for me personally, massive pump. I mean just my biceps, my triceps just felt thick and full. Right around hour 4, hour 5, the 4th or 5th time I went out there, the muscles were feeling destroyed, really, really damaged. A lot of cellular damage going on to those muscles. I don't know, man. Thinking about it now, I had to be pretty crazy and desperate for it. I'll put it to you that way, okay? When you're younger and you do workouts like this, or when you're still experimenting with different kinds of workouts to see what works for you, you end up finding out that you're willing to take yourself to a whole other extreme just to see what works. Now, I wasn't doing any of this to cause permanent injury to myself or anything like that. I was very interested in growing that new muscle. And as a young man, it kind of made sense to me that this should work. It should work. I'm causing a lot of damage. I'm feeding myself. I'll recover. Don't worry, I'll recover. And so today's description of this workout is, let's just say I'm leaving out a lot of the details because back then I didn't have a cell phone that I could have followed myself around with to show you guys the kind of destruction that was going on and how the workout in the first hour, second hour, and third hour, while it was exciting and I was excited to get to it, once we got to workout number, and I did it by the way with a training partner, once we got to workout number 5 and workout number 6, it was just us looking at each other saying, are we almost done with this? Are we done with this? How much more do we have? You literally were losing your mind around the 5th or 6th workout. It was hard to even keep track. We had to mark it. What time is it? We had to look at what time it was to know how many workouts we did. So we hit it. So I just described to you the number one problem is the digesting of the food in between those workouts. But then number two, workout number 4 or so, some serious destruction was going on to the muscles. Right around 5 and 6 though, man, my elbows were just getting beat up. They were just getting beat up. My tendons started really feeling it. So the idea here, by the way, was not to go light. The idea was to cause destruction to the muscles. And that's what it was. And it was all done just a positive failure, but that was enough to do this kind of damage to the muscles and to the tendons. Right around workout number 6, man, both of my elbows were just screaming. And so I couldn't wait till it was over with. I did finish it. I did go all the way through with the 8th workout. And by the end, it was just a joke. There was just nothing left. The pump was gone. I wished it was over with around workout number 6 or 7. I pushed to number 8 just to say I did it and to get the results. I wanted those results, you know, that extra ½ inch on those arms in the end. So in the end, once it was done, what was my end result? A measurable 3/4 of an inch the moment I was done. 3/4 of an inch on my upper arm. They were blown up. They were smooth. There was no definition there. I was very lean at the time when I did this. However, that pump, just, you know how it is when you get a really good pump, if you're very lean, your definition doesn't improve. It actually smooths out those body parts and the veins, you know, the blood rushes to that muscle. So you might look a bit more veiny, but the definition or the separation between the muscles goes away, so you can't really see the fibers. So really, I was just bloated in the arms and a little bit bloated in the stomach, to be honest with you, after eating all that food. In the end, 3/4 of an inch that day. I measured it at the beginning, measured at the end. 3/4 of an inch. Once we were done, okay, it was supposed to take, you're supposed to let the muscles recover. You don't train your arms again. Something like for 7 or 10 days. In the end, I waited the requisite amount of time, whether it was the 7th day or the 10th day, measured them again. And don't you know, all I had left was about 1/8 of an inch. 1/8 of an inch bigger. And then I waited another 2 weeks, about a month later, and I could barely get a reading above my original measurement in the very beginning. So maybe a 1/16 of an inch bigger. So my assessment in the end, I did all the things I was supposed to do according to the instructions, and young bodybuilders reading muscle magazine articles. Wow, it's amazing. So I did all the things I was supposed to do, ate the way I was supposed to eat, trained the way I was supposed to train, and in the end, was it worth it? Well, it was worth it in the way that I can tell you guys about this, and it was worth it in the way that I can know better now. But the truth was no. Was it worth it? No, not for a 1/16 of an inch when they promised a ½ an inch. No, not at all. Even if it was a 1/4 inch, would it have been worth it? Yes, it would have been for me because I wanted it that badly. So, no, it wasn't worth it in the end. Could I train my arms all that month? Nah, there was really not much left that whole month. My tendons and my elbows felt bad too for the month. It ruined my upper body workouts, if anything, during the course of that month. I couldn't do my chest or my back properly or my shoulders without any compound movements, that is, okay? So isolation movements, I was fine, but not the compound ones where I needed my elbows. So bottom line, no. That practice, it keeps popping up. You guys will see it again. There will be an article written somewhere, an online magazine or a magazine, talking about this, you know, much promised gain ½ an inch in 8 hours. And like most things that are promised that seem unbelievable, it's unbelievable because it's not believable. And in this case, yeah, it didn't really work. I'm talking, of course, from a natural perspective. Maybe some of the guys out there that are using enhanced with the steroids, the growth hormones, etc., maybe they would make that kind of progress. But in my case, negative. It's not what I got. It's not what my training partner at the time got. Neither one of us made that kind of progress. We were looking back at it like, man, this was more of a stress to our nervous system than anything else. And, well, you know what? As a bodybuilder, it makes you feel good to know that you can actually push through those things. So as stupid as it might sound to some of you all, in thinking back, yeah, the benefits just as an individual, discipline-wise and sticking to something, they were good. It's all mental, the stuff that I'm sharing with you as far as the benefits go. Physically, it wasn't worth it. Mentally, was it worth it? Yes, it was. I could check it off the list, number one, and I can also check off the fact that I could do it, number two. And now, looking back, I realize, yeah, that drive to make progress was what was driving me after all. So, gain 1/2 inch from 8 workouts on the arms in one day. Oh, man, let's just check that one off on the box of no, don't do it, okay? That's it. That's it for today. I have a few more good ones for you coming up soon, so keep an eye out for those. I have some great ones, other types of workouts that I've done, not just tried, I've done them, and the results that I got from them. Some of them good. And that's it for today. From my heart to you, John Hart. Hey, before you go, off to my left, you're going to see that little circle pop up. That right there is the subscribe button for my channel. Please give that thing a tap, won't you, before you go. And down below, way down there, you're going to see a thumbs up. That thumbs up button right there helps the channel out a lot with YouTube. Please give it a thumbs up if you wouldn't mind. And I look forward to seeing you again. Thank you.